Figured I'd tell a story, one of the chapters in my life, but talk about some of the reasons why I don't have friends. What's happened to those friends? Because I had many friends growing up. So, like around when I was 17 or 18, had a friend, and he liked to smoke dope. I smoked dope too with him, but he was so different. I mean, the guy actually would take his marijuana and soak it in something to try to make it more potent and stuff, and I wouldn't touch that. But he was into music. I remember he used to have speakers hanging from the ceiling. He was a really cool guy, but he did like to steal. Okay, one of his favorite things to steal was car stereos, and he would steal them basically out of anywhere. But he liked hitting impoundments. You know, where you get your car impounded. So anyway, one time at a party, shortly before this thing happened, he asked me, he said he's going to steal some stereos. He goes, like, what would you like? I guess he was offering to sell me or going to give me a stereo. And so I said an Alpine because I used to have one. And anyway, he ended up doing it. He ended up going to an impoundment place, climbed over a fence, got the stereo out, was climbing back over, and his foot got caught in the fence. And so he fell and hit his back. Now, his girlfriend was with him at the time. She was the driver. And she wanted to, like, call an ambulance and all that because he couldn't move. But he didn't want to. He didn't want to get busted by the police. So he asked his girlfriend to drag him to the car. And that paralyzed him. From the waist down, he got paralyzed. Anyway, so then he went into depression, and then he would get out of depression, then depression, then out of depression. He would starve himself because, he couldn't get over the point that he was paralyzed. Now, his parents, like, bought him a vehicle, a van, and they put in these mechanical things where he could drive with his hands, and he did. That was on his ups. But then he would fall back in depression, this is how my life's going to be forever. I'm going to be paralyzed and all that. Eventually, he ended up winning that battle of killing himself because that's what he wanted to do. He didn't want to live anymore. And so he died. And, like I've said, bad things happen to people who do bad things. And look, he did a bad thing. And, he died eventually from his action. I do miss him. And I'm not going to sit here, I am going to sit here and judge him. What he did was wrong. He shouldn't have done that. But still, I miss him, and I did have fun being around him. It seemed like everybody that I hung out with did something that they shouldn't be doing, smoking dope or drinking, and then they would drive or other drugs or get in fights or I don't know. But, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I eventually cut myself off of different people. Once I stopped doing like marijuana, then people didn't want to hang out with me. I guess they were afraid that I would be a narc, which I wouldn't. But in this case, I've lost a couple friends because they went to prison or because they died. And in this case, he died. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, with you. Have you had a friend who did something that they shouldn't have done, end up dying? Maybe just doing something risky, bungee jumping, parachuting, racing cars, and died from, something they enjoyed doing. All right, you guys have a good one. Take care, and God bless.